Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. By using our link, you can get 10% off your first month of therapy. So, Naz, as a therapist on BetterHelp, what has your experience been like?
I've been doing it since January of 2021, and it's been really fun and exciting. I've been able to reach clients all over the United States and the world. I've had good relationships. I've had folks that I've had for a couple months and a good handful where I've had for almost 2 years now. So it's magnificent. I've enjoyed my time and my clients. I love them.
Awesome. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel the most comfortable. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/DSP or choose Different Spectrums podcast during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Hey everybody, we back again.
We back. We're live.
Sure are. I'm Spencer. That's Naz, our licensed clinical therapist. Hello.
Dr. Nas. I mean, congratulations, everyone. I'm already crying. I don't know why that's a congratulations.
Congrats. I'm crying. You're welcome. I'm crying.
You're welcome, America.
Hey, be a man. Cry.
Be a man, cry.
Anyways, remember, hey, don't take us too serious.
Or two. That's up to you.
Depending on the topics. Don't forget to rub those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So today, it's supposed to be a quick 30-minute pod, but then, we just started diving deep, as they say, into the memories. Yeah. Before we get into it, go check out betterhelp.com. Use our code DSP if you'd like to get 10% off your first month of therapy. Go check them out. They're great. Nas works with them. There's going to be an ad after this, so I don't have to go too much into it, but please go use BetterHelp.
Yeah.
Yes. So for today, we are doing the documentary, or not documentary, I'm such a jackass. We're doing the illustrations of Dear Basketball, which actually won an award, an Academy Award for animation,
Yep.
I think in 2017.
Yep.
And then we're also taking a look at a few clips from the eulogy of Kobe Bryant and his daughter, as well as the other victims of the plane crash or helicopter crash that happened back in 2020,
I think, yes.
2019. This was like right before the pandemic, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was 2019 actually, but maybe it was 2020.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, so
Yep.
we were taking a look at those. We're going to be talking about grief. We're going to be talking about loss. We're going to talk about emotions. When it comes to Dear Basketball, we're also going to be talking about just visualizing and what that means, and a few other things that we're going to be talking about today as well. So, Naz, anything before we get into the show?
Yep. So like Spence said, we started this out originally to just chop up the short film because we did the Spider-Man one. We're going to do this one called Float, and then this one is this little series. And about being an athlete, being obsessive, being wanting something, loving something. visualizing things. But then we started to dip into this one of my favorite scenes, well, not scenes, speeches, or words is what Kobe Bryant put in the book, which I put in for all my graduate students. Everyone that's graduating, I usually give them a copy of this one book that was given to me, and then the quote that he told his best friend, Rob Pelinka, and also was his agent later in life. But then it parlayed us into watching Michael Jordan cry and do his eulogy. So we just released a new line: be a man, cry; be a man, talk; be a man, love; be a man, be different. So we decided to maybe show some emotions from one of the greatest athletes, most masculine athletes of all time. And how you can cry and be vulnerable, and people might mess with you or meme you, but you know, let's talk about it. So we're gonna do Dear Basketball. We're gonna do some eulogy stuff. Gonna get a little weird. Me and Spence already cried before this, so I mean, it is what it is. So. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
A one-point game. Bryant for the win.
Dear Basketball. From the moment I started rolling my dad's tube socks and shooting imaginary game-winning shots in the Great Western Forum, I knew one thing was real. I fell in love with you. A love so deep, I gave you my all. From my mind and body to my spirit and soul. As a 6-year-old boy, deeply in love with you, I never saw the end of the tunnel. I only saw myself running out of one. And so I ran. I ran up and down every court after every loose ball for you. You asked for my hustle. I gave you my heart. Because it came with so much more. I played through the sweat and the hurt. Not because challenge called me, but because you called me. I did everything for you. Because that's what you do when someone makes you feel as alive as you've made me feel. You gave a 6-year-old boy his Laker dream. And I'll always love you for it. But I can't love you obsessively for much longer. This season is all I have left to give. My heart can take the pounding. My mind can handle the grind. But my body knows it's time to say goodbye. And that's okay. I'm ready to let you go. I want you to know now, so we both can savor every moment we have left together. The good and the bad. We have given each other all that we have. And we both know, no matter what I do next, I'll always be that kid with the rolled up socks, garbage can in the corner, 5 seconds on the clock, ball in my hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. love you always. Kobe.
I'm grateful to be here to honor Gigi and celebrate the gift that Kobe gave us all. What he accomplished as a basketball player, as a businessman and a storyteller, and as a father. In the game of basketball, in life, as a parent, Kobe left nothing in the tank. He left it all on the floor. Maybe it surprised people that Kobe and I were very close friends, but we were very close friends. Kobe was my dear friend. He was like a little brother. Everyone always wanted to talk about the comparisons between he and I. I just wanted to talk about Kobe. You know, all of us have brothers and sisters, little sisters who, for whatever reason, always tend to get in your stuff, your closet, your shoes, everything. It was a nuisance, if I can say that word. But that nuisance turned into love over a period of time, just because the admiration that they had for you as big brothers or big sisters. The questions, the wanting to know every little detail about life that they were about to embark on. He used to call me, text me, 11:30, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, talking about post-up moves, footwork, and sometimes the triangle. At first, it was an aggravation. But then it turned into a certain passion. This kid had passion like you would never know. And it's an amazing thing about passion. If you love something, if you have a strong passion for something, you would go to the extreme to try to understand or try to get it. Either ice cream, Cokes, hamburgers, whatever you have a love for. If you have to walk, you would go get it. If you have to beg someone, you would go get it. What Kobe Bryant was to me was the inspiration that someone truly cared about the way I played the game or the way that he wanted to play the game. He wanted to be the best basketball player that he could be. And as I got to know him, I wanted to be the best big brother that I could be. To do that, you have to put up with the aggravation, the late night calls, or the dumb questions. I took great pride as I got to know Kobe Bryant that he was just trying to be a better person, a better basketball player. We talked about business. We talked about family. We talked about everything. And he was just trying to be a better person. Now he's got me. I'll have to look at another crime meme for the next I told my wife I wasn't going to do this because I didn't want to see that for the next 3 or 4 years. That is what Kobe Bryant does to me. I'm pretty sure Vanessa and his friends all can say the same thing. He knows how to get to you in a way that affects you personally, even though if he's being a pain in the ass. But you ever have a sense of love for him in the way that he can bring out the best in you. And he did that for me. I remember maybe a couple of months ago, he sends me a text. And he's saying, I'm trying to teach my daughter some moves. And I don't know what I was thinking or what I was working on, but what were you thinking about when you were as you were growing up, trying to work on your moves? I said, what age? He says, 12. I said, 12, I was trying to play baseball. He sends me a text back saying, laughing my ass off. And this was at 2 o'clock in the morning. But the thing about him was we could talk about anything that related to basketball, but we can talk about anything that related to life. And we, as we grow up in life, rarely have friends that we can have conversations like that. Kobe gave every last ounce of himself to whatever he was doing. After basketball, he showed a creative side to himself that I didn't think any of us knew he had. In retirement, he seemed so happy. He found new passions, and he continued to give back as a coach in his community. More importantly, he was an amazing dad, amazing husband, who dedicated himself to his family and who loved his daughters with all his heart. Kobe never left anything on the court. And I think that's what he would want for us to do. No one knows how much time we have. That's why we must live in the moment. We must enjoy the moment. We must reach and see and spend as much time as we can with our families and friends and the people that we absolutely love. To live in the moment means to enjoy each and every one that we come in contact with. When Kobe Bryant died, a piece of me died. And as I look in this arena and across the globe, a piece of you died, or else you wouldn't be here. Those are the memories that we have to live with and we learn from. I promise you, from this day forward, I will live with the memories of knowing that little brother that I tried to help in every way I could. Please rest in peace, little brother.
My wife reminded me of the Wizenard book Kobe authored and had recently given to me. I went upstairs and found the book in my library and opened it, and on the inside cover, he had penned with his own pen these words. To RP, my brother, may you always remember to enjoy the road, especially when it's a hard one. Love, Kobe. Kobe wrote these words to me just a few months ago. Now I realize that perhaps they were meant for us all. Kobe, my brother, this road is so hard, and I don't know how to journey on without you. But I know you want us to keep going, and our memories with you will give us strength to somehow move forward. And as you wrote, even in the valley of unimaginable loss, we will somehow find a way to have joy.
Hey everyone, before we get into the show, please check out our collaborator, Bubs Naturals. They sell a variety of health and wellness products, including collagen peptides, MCT oil powder, coffee, apple cider vinegar gummies, and other amazing products. Go to bubsnaturals.com and use our code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order. And with that, let's get into the show. Right, so before we get into the pod, we just want to say rest in peace to Kobe, Gianna, John Altobelli, Kiri Altobelli, Alyssa Altobelli, Christina Mauser, Sarah Chester, Peyton Chester, and then Ara Sabanya. All the people that tragically lost their lives during a helicopter crash in 2020. Just wanted to say rest in peace to all of them before we get into the pod today.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Rest in peace. Much respect. Much love.
Yes.
Yep.
So we're back.
We're back.
And yeah,
we're live. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk about emotions.
Doesn't seem like we're gonna have fun. Seems like this is about to be sad. This must be sad.
I'm sad. Yeah.
Yes. Like you said, we're doing the short film Dear Basketball, which was it was a letter that Kobe wrote to the Players Tribune back in 2015, while he was announcing his retirement from basketball. Kobe tore his Achilles in 2013 and just had like a season left pretty much after that, because he just, once you're that age and you tear your Achilles, you're pretty much done.
Yep.
The fact that he even got back up from tearing his Achilles and still shot his free throws and walked off the court by himself just is a testament to just how passionate he was about the game of basketball. So, a few things about this film also. It was directed by Glenn Keane, who also was an animator at Disney. He did The Little Mermaid. He did a bunch of films for Disney, including Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Pocahontas, Tarzan, and Tangled. So, yeah. He got the big guns for this one. And then also he got John Williams to do the music as well. And if you know John Williams, he has done all the Indiana Jones films, all the Star Wars films. Dude's a legend when it comes to composing music, and you can tell why in this short film, because the music is amazing and it makes you even feel a little bit even more into the illustrations themselves once they're on the screen.
Yep.
So yes,
I agree.
Yeah, but let's just take a second. You are a huge Kobe Bryant fan after the fact, after the basketball, right? When he's retired, when he wrote the books.
Yep.
You love his books. What kind of got you into his books? Like, how do you get in there, especially being like, Pistons fan, but also, you can respect a guy even though he's not on your team and stuff like that. But how did you get into the books?
So everything was coming out. I remember we moved out to the country, Minnesota, and I was reading a lot, and then the books it popped up on Instagram. These things that he's doing. Then you're seeing interviews about how it's like all like kind of Harry Potter-esque, the magics and the power, and they're all like coming of age stories. And so the first one was called the Wizard series, and I was super interested because he said it was a mixture of his mentors, his two mentors in life, one of them being Phil Jackson. And that's the coach, the Wizard. And then that just led to all the other books, the ones on tennis, track and field, swimming. They're all magnificent books. But I think also it was like during COVID time, right? And then you were seeing a lot of Kobe stuff. You were seeing people talk about the books. So like during that COVID time, that's when I started. I just bought them all up and then I read them all. But I was using the Wizard series, I think, before he had passed. It was all through Instagram. And then I bought the rest of them during COVID. Great books, man. Magnificent. The Wizard series is awesome, about these dystopian world where they have to win basketball games to get out of like poverty to get to the next class. And it's all about making it to the playoffs. Magnificent for mindfulness. You know, mindfulness, anxiety, all of it, pressure, the pressure of what it is to come out of, you know, poverty. The tennis ones are awesome. Come of age. It's about a young woman. Super fun. It's actually probably one of my more favorite series out of all of them. The swimming one's more of a real life story about his brother. It's about a young man who's really good at swimming, and his brother had just committed committed suicide. So it's super hard to read, but very good. Track and field one's kind of reminds me like Aladdin vibes. Poor man trying to get into the rich kids club.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, magnificent books. You're right, Kobe. I hated him for years.
Same.
Being a Pistons fan, yeah, and you Minnesota fan, you just hate him for years, man, years.
Minnesota, but then also when Kevin Garnett went to the Celtics, I also became a Celtics fan because I love Kevin Garnett and I love his passion for the game. But yeah, I had to automatically hate him because, you know, NBA Finals.
Yep.
1-1. That was about it.
Yep. You got one. Yeah, you got one. You know, you didn't almost sweep them like we did, you know.
Here we go. Yeah, whatever. You know what? Not everybody has your players. All right.
Not everyone has Ben Wallace.
Yeah, Ben Wallace just trucking people down.
Virginia Union.
If you could truck Shaq, you could truck anybody. Let me tell you.
Yeah, shout out to Ben Wallace. But yeah, me and Spencer, a very love-hate relationship with Kobe. And then, you know, you're starting to watch him towards the end of his career, and you're like, geez, this dude, like, I need to witness and appreciate this. Same thing with like a lot of these athletes that they're, you know, Tom Brady at the end, you know, Jesus, what was I just getting ready to say? LeBron at the end. I'm like, yeah, LeBron. Yeah. It's kind of cool seeing.
Yeah. I know. I don't think I appreciated it as much as maybe I should have.
Yeah.
At the time, you know, just how much work he put into the game, because then everything else started coming out afterwards. Like how hard he just really goes into the game of basketball, you know. But also, you know, it's because of that bias that I already had. I was like, whatever, you know. I'll probably feel the same maybe with like LeBron. That's a whole different story. But, you know, I just think that you didn't really get to appreciate how amazing he was. And then you go back and look at all the highlights. You go back and look at all the games he's played. It's amazing. It's amazing what he's been able to achieve in his career, you know?
And then we'll get into his afterlife stuff more after we finish Dear Basketball. So the stuff he was doing. So let's hop on into this clip. So Spence, this is your first time watching this clip, wasn't it?
It was.
How's your experience of this?
Almost made me cry a couple times there. I have a migraine right now because I like took everything to like hold it right here. Just like
I'm on my period, so you know that's why I'm on migraine.
Jeez. It's like getting you a tampon. Yeah. First time watching it, and it's just, I'm a big sucker for music, and especially if it fits perfectly into a film and everything like that, and just the sounds just swelling when there's like a big moment, just it gets to you. And just the passion. I always love watching basketball players just show their passion into the game. When the Last Dance series came out with Michael Jordan, and he just like started crying because he was like, I'm so passionate about this game. And if you're not passionate about it, well then that's why you didn't win anything, because you're not passionate as me. And it just goes to show that just these players, they put everything into it. And you can get a little frustrated at those players that just don't put as much will or time into it, you know? And I can't blame those people because maybe it's just not the hugest part of their life, which I understand. But at the same time, just seeing these two players just show you how much it meant to them, and just they are like, you could kind of hear Kobe a little bit in there kind of choking up, in my opinion. Like it sounds like he's choking up in some of their because this is like his last words to the game of
Yeah.
basketball. Um, but I loved it. I love it, and it was the perfect amount of time to where it really kind of fleshed out the story,
Mhm.
and what he was trying to say. We just did Spider Within, which we felt like it was just a little too short, but in this time frame of 5 minutes, like they just everything just felt so perfect in it.
Yep.
So yeah,
Well, I'm glad you got to see it, man. I didn't know you didn't see it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's been just years. I mean, I probably saw it in 2017, 2018. So
hmm
I remember watching. I'm like, Jesus, this is good. And then now,
yeah,
we were like, hey, let's do some shorts.
hmm
But yeah, you get choked up again. I'm not sure if I got too choked up the first time, but now, with him being dead,
yeah,
right? His daughter, and then everything that he was doing in life was going to be astronomically better than what his career was.
no, yeah,
What he was doing for women's sports, everyone forgets that he pretty much like created the girl dad thing,
yeah,
and, women's sports and just empowering folks. And people are going to be like, but his past, no. Who was the man afterwards? Who's the current man? Who's the man he was becoming, who he was? That was an awesome man.
hmm
Uh, and so that was magnificent. He was doing a bunch of stuff, like you said, with art and the books. He was getting ready to come out with a children's TV series,
mm
and like a whole animated children's TV series. And it was going to be good.
no, yeah,
Uh,
totally,
and it was all going to be about, mental health and like growing and developing. And it's just like, fuck. So that's why I was getting choked up, man. It's just the loss.
right,
And then expenses, the music comes in, the crescendos, and it's intense. I love that all of you will get to see that and experience that with us. For those of you who are on the podcast side, which is majority of you, not on the YouTube side, I highly advise you go watch it, because that way you can see the illustrations, because it's much more meaningful. The voice is awesome, the music is awesome, but you'll see the illustrations much better.
yeah. I felt like that was great, just showing him as a kid, practicing with his dad's socks rolled up into a ball. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So let's start there then. The reason why we wanted to do this is because it was his love in this game, his obsessiveness, compulsiveness, his passion. But he talks about him being a young man,
hmm
and playing and shooting the socks into the garbage can, into the corner. As a little tiny boy, doing drills in and out, right? Giving his entire life to something. Spence, you'd be surprised at how many times people will come to the office. I got no meaning, no nothing.
hmm
People would literally die to have what he had. I'm not talking about finances, money, and beautiful wife and kids. Just to have a meaning and passion, like a willingness to want to do something.
yeah,
So, you watch him as this young man believing in himself. So this week, a lot in therapy, Spence, story time, a lot about faith this week. And not religious faith, but some of us did actually talk about religion. And it's just interesting how, this Friday was all about faith. And then a couple of days before it was all about faith in oneself. I was telling people, you're going to be fine. And they're like, what are you talking about? I said, hey, we done some good work, this and that. I fully believe you to handle whatever the fuck it is you got to handle, whether I'm at this institution next year or not. You're fine. Why? Because I got faith in you, because you done did some badass shit in the last few years I've known you. So I know you're going to handle business in the coming year, 2 weeks. And they're like, oh, okay. Much different saying, faith than hope. I hope I do okay. I have faith I'll do okay. Because we do talk about religion here and there, and right now I'm not super religious, but folks are talking about God this week. It's just popping up. I said, God created you in their image. You got faith in God, but God created you in their image. Well, that means you got faith in yourself because you directly, created in their image. They're like, oh, that makes sense. So I got faith in you to get shit done. God ain't just going to put it there. Kobe did, life didn't just happen for him. You got to go do it, Spencer. And he went and did it. He made sure that he did every single thing. And that's what I tell my students. I got full faith that you're going to get shit done. And you should have faith in yourself because of supposedly you're created, but also they gave you the ability to do all these things. Thus, you have faith in yourself. And it was magnificent conversations about that, philosophy, meaning, life, hate. That's what I wanted to talk about, I guess. Yeah, the faith. And then how it turns into visualization. So, Spence, did you always grow up with faith that everything was going to work out? Because I know I sure as fuck didn't.
I probably have to say, my mom is on the Catholic side, and so she would always, it's more about like doing things that are always going to keep you on the good side of God and things like that, right? And so for me, I don't know, it's not like everything's just going to work out. It's more of just like we're going to be okay, like we'll be fine. And the difference is that when you go to just everything's going to be, all right, and we're going to make it through this, it's tough. It's so much work to try and put into yourself.
Yeah.
But and it's always hard because it's like I've always had my mom there to like help me through everything, and had that person there. And I think Kobe's had that. And I mean, as you can see in like the clips later on, it's just like everyone else felt the same way about Kobe. But yeah,
a lot of people had faith in him.
mm-hmm.
But then also he had faith in a lot of other people. He was calling Michael Jordan, 2 a.m., Rob Pelinka, all these folks. I mean, he put a lot of, I didn't think he would be that trusting. I thought he'd be more isolated. Looks like all he did was love.
Yeah. I think he's one of those people that you really have to like earn his respect.
Yep.
And earn your keep with him. It's not just like, oh yeah, I'm just your friend right away, I'm gonna be cool with you. It's like, no, I work my ass off to get to where I am, and I respect those who have worked their ass off to get to either the same level or like above me, which is very rare to get above Kobe. So yeah,
I just love that he sought so much mentorship. So you go back to the film and you see this repetition, the visualization and the practicing him over and over and over. You just see it over and over, whether it be actual physical labor or mental labor. You see him practicing over and over. Practice doesn't always make permanent or perfect, but it does make shit permanent. And, you keep getting closer to perfection, right? Real close. And he developed this athleticism, this gift, this talent, this mentality, the mama mentality. You see the love for basketball, right? He said, you gave me this and I gave you everything. That was when he was a little kid dribbling. He said, what was that scene about walking out of the tunnel, Spence? He said, I never saw the light at the tunnel.
Yeah, I think he said, I might be paraphrasing here, but I didn't see myself at the end of the tunnel. I saw myself going through it.
Correct. So, right, it's maybe that's got a parable about, his end of his career, but he's talking more about like actually being in the moment and going through it. I think that's what he's getting at.
Yeah, and actually physically like going through that tunnel, like the tunnel when you play in basketball.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the tunnel of basketball. So he sees himself being magnificent, everyone cheering and loving him, getting him to win, right? So visualization of that, and then also it could be, mindfulness and going through this journey, because that's what he kept telling everyone, being mindful about the present today. So you see Kobe, multifaceted. It's also crazy because he spoke like a ton of different languages.
Yeah. he grew up in Spain,
Yeah.
and so he knew Spanish, and he would just when he was on the national team, he would just talk shit in Spanish
Yeah.
to the Spain team
Yep.
because he could speak
Yeah.
Spanish.
No, I mean, hell, at the end there, Luca would tell you that he was learning his language. That way he could talk shit to Luca.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. He was talking shit to Luca in his language, sitting courtside, just roasting him.
Yeah, yeah. He's gosh,
Spanish,
that's
Italian,
amazing.
I think it was German. There was a bunch of different languages they used. I think he knew Mandarin. It's just like, what?
Yeah,
So I'm
his
like,
arc, his life arc is just amazing. He
nuts.
could have called it quits. Honestly, there's a few times in his career where he could have called it quits,
Yeah.
right? And he decided, no, I'm gonna keep on doing it. I'm gonna
Yep.
keep on growing, getting better, not only in basketball, but just as a person in general. He just got so much. He just blew up when it came to just his life.
Yep.
Um, and you probably think that like, his kids probably did a big, big turnaround for him too.
Yep.
It does that a lot. So
One thing we're going to talk about a few more things real quick, and then we're going to get into the eulogies. It's something that I love, and like, I'm not letting myself feel emotions right now in this moment, but like Paul Gasol,
oh yeah.
in the way he
Yeah.
treats his wife and his kids, and he's there and taking pictures with him and holding them. Right? I mean, talk about a best friend. Jesus. Right? You see him on his Twitter and his Instagram, like posting a few pics here and there, and I'm just like, best friend.
I know.
How fucking awesome is that? He just so many good people. So
Yeah.
deep breath. There we go. And good people. So magnificent. Dear Basketball, please watch that. I guess in this pod, we're going to do a pivot and talk about, change, but also some grief. We're going to talk about, men crying. So this podcast is going to do a little switch. It's supposed to be more about Dear Basketball. We're going to do a little switch.
Mm-hmm.
Suspense. I'm going to ask you something, and then we're going to get into Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know what you was doing. You say, hey, Nas, I'm going to make some merch, and then I'm going to edit some new stuff. And then, next thing you know, you send me this thing, and it's Be a Man, Cry.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't want to.
I don't want to. And so there's this whole new Be a Man thing. Where the hell did that come from? I mean, there's people sharing it all over no one shares shit on my Facebook or Instagram. And now people are sharing it. I'm like, I think we hit the jackpot on here.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. It just I probably just like I look at something and it just pops in my head and I just do it. Now I will say at first I wanted it to be just Be a Man, Cry. That was the only one I wanted to make at first. And that was the only one I thought about making. And then I was talking to Dom and she was like, I like this being a man thing. And then it just kind of clicked in my head, like, why don't we do a bunch of different emotions that, are kind of taboo for men, right? They're taboo for men that, we either get scorned for or, we just, do it to ourselves.
Yep.
Either way, like, no, I'm not going to cry. No, I'm not going to talk. No, I'm not going to be different or anything like that. I can't. So, my thought process on this whole line was to be like, hey, we need something for the men out there that actually do want to cry, that actually do want to talk, be different. And honestly, it when you first hear it, it's a little bold.
Yeah.
You're just like, be a man. And you're like,
Cry.
what? And then it's cry or talk or do something, because we're told a lot of times don't do these things. And then finally we do. And then sometimes we get appreciated for it. And then other times we don't.
Yep.
I think that this line's a good remembering that we can do these things and it's going to be a positive thing. It's not going to be a negative. So
for sure.
That was my thought process on it.
Magnificent, man. We, bunch of my friends shared it. Bunch of dudes shared it. A bunch of awesome women reliked it and reposted it. One of my boys called me and he said, hey man, I'm working out over at the prison system in North Carolina. run his men's group therapy. He said, I want to buy a batch of these. The prison have batch it to them as graduating from group therapy. And I said, well, shit, we can do that.
Nice.
So I'm gonna try and hook it up. I said, I'm gonna do our best to get it as low as possible, and we'll get it done. And he's like, dude, I'm gonna get some. He said, I'm gonna get it for them for sure. This is awesome. So this is gonna have a bigger impact than I thought. But I mean, as soon as I seen it, I was like, this color scheme's awesome. And then my boy's like, I'm gonna buy this. So he's I guess he was on the news, because of the things that he's doing in the prison. So it's pretty fucking cool. Nice. Really excited about this line. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited about, women wearing it as well too, to let some dudes know like this is fine. Men wearing it as well. Like I'm gonna wear it at the gym. Like as soon as I buy these, then it's just gonna be my gym fits.
Totally. And we also do have unisex and some women's shirts with it as well.
There you go.
As soon as, and if we get anybody wanting other products for it, we can make those as well. Just let us know.
Yep. For sure. So as we pivot now into the eulogy, Spencer was like, hey man, remember Michael Jordan was crying pretty hard during that thing. Cause I only showed Rob Palinka because there's one quote he puts in the book. He's like, well, Jordan was crying. I was like, he was? I mean, I know he's a crybaby now.
Yes.
And then I watched Spence watch it and I was like, oh, he's feeling emotions.
I was like, oh, fuck.
I was like, should we watch this? And he's
Michael.
like, let's do it. Not little Michael. That's the wrong Michael.
So many Michaels.
I'm glad we did it. It's gonna be a little chopped and edited, which y'all seen, but Spence, man, what do you think? Because you were preaching earlier. What were you thinking about? Watching the Kobe thing and the emotions and tears, and then you're like, man, this is Michael Jordan cried his ass off too. Like that's a grown fucking man.
Yeah. I mean, what I was really thinking was just like, we're hearing Kobe, we're hearing his voice, and it's so messed up to think about, like when you hear or see people and they're just gone. They're just gone.
Yep.
Right. We watch Robin Williams movies all the time, at least I do. And it's sad to think about when you're watching these movies, like, wow, this guy is just gone from the face of it. He can't bring anything else to this world anymore. He brought so much laughter. He brought so much joy to people. And now we're left with such a legacy of things, but it's like, where are we going now?
Yeah.
It's like, can we keep on moving forward with what they gave us, with,
hoping that you don't forget them.
Yeah. And I don't think we ever will, honestly. I don't think we will, especially because, when it comes to basketball, we have there are people cemented into the game that are going to live on forever. Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant. He's cemented into that. And the NBA, since it is a player-owned league, they're never going to let you forget the people that helped bring this league to what it is today. Yep. And I think that always gets to me when we're seeing that stuff and we're just looking at these people that are gone. I love Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder is like one of my favorite comedian stars of all time. But anytime I watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, I'm reminded that this guy isn't here to make any more laughs, any more different faces and stuff like that, and it's just, sometimes it just gets sad to think about.
It's just sad. Yeah. It's like a missing. It's grieving, but it's different because you don't truly know them, but you are truly grieving them. It's just a sadness. It's a loss.
Yeah.
But it's also, grief of the loss, but also grief of the future loss. So that's what Spencer's talking about. It's you're grieving the person that you would have known or seen or laughed with in the future, the next 10, 15, 20 years. Then also you're grieving the remembrance and the things that you had and experienced with them. So you're grieving two different things when it comes to folks like Kobe Bryant, or a lot of us men that look up to these idols. I think when we think about Kobe, or people passing in general, some people don't feel much. Some people feel a lot during grief, right? And then you get this Michael Jordan, and Spencer's like, we got to show this. So you see him crying, and you're like, if this man can cry, then anyone can cry. I remember when the first time I seen Mike Tyson crying, I was like, what? So if the scariest man I've ever seen in my life can cry, then anybody can cry. And maybe that's one of the strongest things that you can do is anyone, an individual, a person, a man. We've been talking about emotions as a podcast for a while. We've got some really negative comments from a lot of dudes. A lot of dudes are trash. A lot of specifically white dudes are mostly trash. And but a lot of awesome dudes out there, a lot of women that support these things, a lot of folks in general that support emotions, well-being, love, connection. I feel really sad for a lot of folks that post a lot of negative shit when it comes to men and crying emotions. Because I know they're pretty fucked up, but it is what it is. So, besides the point. Someone posted on one of my boys' things. He was shared it. One of the guys said, be a man, hold it into your 40 and die by suicide. And I was like, can't tell if you're joking. I hope you're joking. But yeah, that's straight up like true. The highest rates of suicide are middle-aged men. A lot of emotions, a lot of depression, a lot of trauma. It's all held in. A lot of substance abuse. It's all held in. A lot of horrible communication skills with their partners and friends. A lot of isolation. Tons of depression. As we know, men have the higher rates of completion of suicide because of the violent means in which we use. I just sent Spencer a post today about Instagram about how Purdue University has had this high spike in suicides by specifically like Asian folks that are in grad school. It doesn't matter if it's
China.
China.
Said about 8 of them were Asian.
It is intense. It was over like 65%, even though they only are like 25% of the whole population at our school. So by Asian, it was Chinese. I'm pretty sure it's like, Koreans in there too. And then a lot of folks that are from like India. And, you're seeing this high rates. And then my boss asked me, and they're like, what should we, like everyone opens it up. What should we do to help out these brown men? Right? These Asian international men, just men in general. And, everyone's talking. And then finally someone goes, since Nazir's the only brown male here,
yeah,
maybe we should talk to him. I was like, I tried to chirp in a bunch of times because everyone thinks they know all men's issues. Love all the therapists out there. Love all the women that are therapists out there. It was interesting. Someone shot a thing in Threads and a bunch of women were commenting I'll talk to you. I'm like, I should talk to a dude about this topic.
right.
You already a woman talking about let's let a dude that's good with emotions, maybe a therapist talk about it because it's not seen. So why am I saying this? Said my solution for is you got to send more men to do these presentations, these talks. They need to see representation. It matters. You send my big ass to go do it, 6'2", 350 pounds, super masculine, talking shit, wearing Jordans. You see me get emotional and choked up, right? Well, I'm working with a handful of students that I met in the summer. And we were doing some meditations. I cried 3 fucking times in that presentation. I had the whole fucking room crying. It was a fucking number, straight up trauma fest. I went and talked.
Welcome to Trauma Fest, where everything is terrible.
2024 Trauma Fest 2024.
We're creating it, folks.
We're doing it. I walked up to one girl. This is all for brown Latin folks. I walked up to one brown girl and I said, "Hey girl, how'd you like the speech?" She just starts crying. Like, damn girl, eat your chicken burrito. It was horrible. I'm like, girl crying in a Chipotle and shit.
my sour cream soggy.
I know. Slave's like, what the fuck is going on? Why is bitch crying?
I'll be honest, I'm the same way. I'd be like, what is happening? Why?
Why?
What?
Damn, now you broke another one. Yep.
I'm gonna go.
I'm up. I'm gonna go. I think it's magnificent to have more men, specifically like masculine men, do these talks. You know, I get that we're two dudes talking, and I know a lot of folks aren't going to listen to us because who the hell wants to listen to two dudes these days? But the fact is that me and you will do more healing for a lot of mental health things than people that are way better, and maybe women. We just start because we're the ones preaching about it. We're the ones dealing with it. It means a little bit more. The masculinity in it, the relatability in it. This is why when I go into Greek life, all my boys hit me up on fraternity. Can't no one go into fraternities. They shoo them out. They don't even pay attention to you in the fraternities. I come in there, I get 10, 15 emails within the next couple of weeks. I get emails from 2 years ago. Hey, man, so my name's Bobby Johnson. Bobby. And I need to talk to you. I'm like, okay. I just had someone email me I ain't talked to in 2 years now. I need a meeting like tomorrow. I got you.
Huh?
I'll see you tomorrow. I remember you. You remember? I remember you, motherfucker. I hate you.
See, I find that so interesting is that, like, everybody wants to talk about representation and all this bullshit, and all like movies, shows, and all that shit. But when it comes to actual serious matters, when it comes to like, we actually need brown people in these situations, or we need certain people in these situations, we don't take a look at it. We wait till the last minute till it gets to this point.
Yeah, we're
to where it
scrambling.
gets to 12 people have killed themselves because, oh, hey, what are we supposed to do now? Why weren't you ask isn't that your job to ask these questions?
Yep.
Why are these people doing this?
Something's going on. And a lot of them are men. You know, so we've been talking about this as the school, right? As a population, everyone's students. What are we doing? So something's going on with these professors and teachers that are killing these kids. Some of it's probably the culture. Some of it's also masculinity is killing folks. We're not talking. Because, like Spence said, we're not trained to talk. We're not trained to cry. We're not trained to listen and love. I remember one of my boys told me, nah, my father beat that shit out of me, so I can't do it. All my brown men, none of them can like do any emotions, and I have to work through all the mud with them so they can love their partners. And boy, them motherfuckers be coming in crying, Spence. It's intense. It's intense watching big dudes that look just like me, big boys, and they just fall. I'm like, so you've been holding this in for a minute. But then they feel soft, you know, because if you cry, you're a bitch. Just that's what people are gonna see it as.
That's what it is.
I was Spence knows I'm horrifically crying all the time. I was in Detroit and we was with my boy Lil Mike. Lil Mike.
What color's little Mike?
He black. He black as hell.
Just for people who don't know, he's also known as Black Mike. So
he's also known as Black Mike.
because sometimes you say, "Oh yeah, I was with Black Mike." No, I was with Lil Mike. I was like, "Are those two different people?" No, the same person. Oh.
I just like to, you know, tell you who they are. They got adjectives, you know.
It's always just like either he's black or he's small. I don't.
You don't know.
Middle sized Mike? I don't know.
Midget Mike. And after they're leaving him, his wife, and his two children, I was walking towards the car. I'm trying my best not to cry the whole fucking time. Happiness and joy. And so right, I get to the car, right, and I'm like shaking because I want to text my dad some pictures, this and that. And I'm standing outside the car because I don't want to get in the car because then I have to look at my boy Joe and he's gonna see me crying. So I didn't want to be no bitch. It's bullshit, right? And so then I'm like, he's like, "What's wrong?" I said, "Nothing, man. I'm just crying. You know, I'm about to cry. You know, I'm trying to compartmentalize some emotions real quick so we can hit the road and we not crash his goddamn car." And I was telling one of my boys the other day, no, it was one brown woman. I said, man, sometimes you just get so happy you cry. Because, the shit that me and Mike went through, and we known each other since 2006 in science camp for poor kids, poor black and brown kids. And bro, we were just skipping class, going eating food and playing basketball.
That's the way to do it.
Bro, that's how I meet all my friends. We're going to eat, we're going to play basketball. We probably not going to go to some shit we're supposed to go to.
We might skip a class.
And we might skip some shit.
We graduated. So let's find a class and
graduated. And loving him and protecting him, and then going to his wedding, and then you see his baby girl. Now she's big. And she's walking around, and what do? I end up swearing right in front of her like an idiot. And then what do I follow that with? I had a bullet in my pocket randomly, so then I gave it to her. Fucking idiot.
What are you doing?
I'm not intelligent.
You're an idiot.
I said, give me that bat.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
That's mine.
Took the bullet away from the child.
That's mine.
That's great.
Well, she got to learn. We're in America.
Okay, hold this.
Black people got to stay armed.
Oh my! Just with a bullet.
That's all you need.
Okay.
It's like Avatar. Avatar. And then this is coming full circle now. So then his son, and this is public news. So the doctors told him that his kid's going to be messed up, some brain issues. You should probably abort the kid. Mike's pretty Christian, pretty religious, and his wife, they're like, hey man, we're going to do our best. We're going to write all the stuff that we got to do. We're going to have this kid. Recommended from multiple doctors that he shouldn't. They have the boy. Turns out everything's fine. Nice, healthy, awesome, beautiful black child. I was fucked up watching him and his wife cry in this speech thing, right? And he didn't reach out to no one, kept it close, right? I teased him because it was the first time seeing him in public. You don't talk to me? No, man, I'm good. I got it all. I said, how you doing now? He said, I'm good. Okay. But as men, we just don't talk about much, man. To know that even when you're going through it and you're about to lose possibly your second child, can't imagine. Not to mention his father had passed from cancer years ago. And so I was just thinking about him and all the loss, and whew. So people wonder, why'd you cry? Because look how beautiful his life turned out. And I was part of it. So it's like Kobe Bryant, he's part of us. Michael Jordan said, he died and part of you dies. So when people live, Spence, like part of you lives. Mm-hmm. When my clients live and they do awesome things and they're these big brothers to them. Right? I'm a big brother to some, and they go do it, and you're just like magnificent. You relish in it. Spence tells me a few things that he's doing, right? I mean, I can give a shit what you're doing, because there's one thing that I think is magnificent in your life is that you just have like an awesome person as a partner. And so I know that's what brings the most happiness for most people long term. Mm-hmm. So, right, I mean, whatever you do, awesome, right? When you told me the internship and all that, I was like, this is fucking cool, this and that. But like, there's certain things where I'm like, this brings you happiness. Same thing with like Colin and the baby and Moses, and I got to see his son. And I just saw too many babies recently, man. All my best friends, and I was just a fucking
only
crying
get to
mess.
see the children. You never visit your guy in Minnesota, do you?
Yeah,
nope.
I seen you a couple of years ago, you piece of shit.
Wow, great. You've been to Virginia like 80 times in the past month.
Well, Colin, well, my dad told me to lay off certain jokes, so I'm not going to say that joke.
Why did he tell you to lay off the jokes?
Well, there's certain jokes. He said, can you go one pod without mentioning something about sex? you pervert.
No.
My own father called me a pervert.
He's right. He's right.
This is a family show.
Okay. As you give a child a bullet. Family show.
Wasn't the best. Yeah, man. So you're right. We see him, we see me, we see you getting choked up. The emotions in men, it's not a thing that's talked about. So to see Jordan was magnificent. To see him preaching, magnificent. It's been a minute since I seen Spence get choked up, and I was like, he's over there, like, not breathing.
Yeah, it's my fucking hero, Michael Jordan. He's just sobbing. I'm like, God damn it. God damn it.
It's the most.
When I saw Last Dance, bro, and he started crying, I was like, ah, fuck. God. Because he's only cried, like, I've only seen him cry 3 times now.
Yep.
Right?
3.
4, technically. Hall of Fame.
Yep.
His Hall of Fame speech. Kobe, when he won the championship after his father died,
Okay.
he was crying and he was fucking like out loud sobbing in the locker room as cameras were fucking filming him on the floor holding the trophy.
Jesus.
Yeah. I think it was like his 4th title.
So when he
And it
came
was
back.
right after that was when his father died. And I saw that. And then in Last Dance, when he was talking about, him just loving the game and how competitive and passionate he is.
Yep.
Right. Only times I've ever seen this dude cry. And it's just like, because when you see him on the court, he's vicious. He's just in the mode. He's in the mode. But then when he's out of it, he's a sweet guy. He seems like he's just like a sweet, caring guy. Actually, sorry, I'm keeping this going, but
Go ahead.
fifth time that I felt like emotions towards this is when there's this huge meme or video that came out from this autistic guy playing basketball, and he was in full Jordan gear.
Yep.
Right? I sent you the clip, I remember. And people were making fun of him because he was in this all Jordan gear, and he probably wasn't the best player or whatever, but he was out there, he was playing the game of basketball. And then comes out, Michael Jordan sent him all this like gear and shit to just be like, hey man, you can wear whatever you want when you want to play the game of basketball, and actually called him
Yep.
and talked to him. That actually gets me like every time, because I was just like, this dude's fucking awesome.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
To watch people show love, to watch men show love.
Yep.
God, it's not that hard, man. I want everyone watching this, be a man. Love. Be a man, cry. Be a man, support, listen.
Yep.
These are not hard things to do. You save lives by doing this. Specifically, men. Masculine lives that have been tortured. So, love that we did this pod. Love that we're talking about emotions in men. Love that both of us were super emotional today. There's big pivot from what we were planning on doing. I was gonna,
we're supposed to just do 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's over past an hour now. So, my opinion. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Kobe's definitely got OCD. Probably got autism. I think he's got autism. Whatever.
They all do. They all
do. They're all autistic as shit. Peyton Manning, autistic. Just saying.
Hey, old noodle arm.
Yeah. Eli for sure.
Peyton Manning. Look, I love Peyton Manning. His last year on the Broncos, he's
bad.
Just hitting the ground every time.
It was bad. It was like it's pretty much me out there throwing it.
I'm talking shit, but at Peyton Manning, shout out to Peyton Manning. He's actually Hall of Famer.
We'll leave folks with this. The very last thing, will Rob Pelinka, and you didn't see a lot of emotion in him because he's much more presenter, speech giver, stuff like that, right? An agent. One of his best friends, Kobe's. And he writes in his book, remember to always enjoy the journey, especially the difficult ones. I normally put that in the book that I give students, which is a Cat in the Hat book called Seussisms. Sorry, Dr. Seuss book, not Cat in the Hat. It's called Seussisms. And it's all these really motivational things that my mentor gave me. And in my book, she had, remember, Nazir, just be you. Everything will be fine. And so it was something so simple, but that's all she would tell me to do. She said, as long as you don't do these other 2 things, you'll be fine. She said, I'm just going to say what she said. She said, long as you don't marry the wrong person, she said, I got faith in you because you don't talk to no one.
Fair.
And she said, as long as you don't sleep with one of your clients, she said, you're going to be good.
These are all true facts, so
Yeah,
can't go against that.
I said, so that's the lowest standard. I said, so long as I don't, marry the wrong person or do anything super grotesque and all, I'm going to be good. So I said, shit, I can do that.
Yeah. Hey.
She said, baby, just be you. And I said, okay. So now I write this thing about people in the journey because it's so difficult. And when they met me, it was probably at one of their hardest times. So like even be appreciative of some of these things. One of my boys said the other day is he was thinking about some things and, grief. And he said, maybe God gives its strongest soldiers the most difficult challenges because we can take it. I said, that's fucked up. It's fucked up. But maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. I know I heard another person say is God will give me anything I couldn't handle. Yeah, maybe that's true. You can probably almost handle anything that Kobe says till your body starts to give out, but your mind can almost override anything. I kept telling all these young men, you're not this person no more. We're going to get into it in the next pod in Invincible, but about anger and all these emotions. Use your mind from now on. Use your mind and your heart. You love, you navigate these things, you be more open and patient with people. Open and patient. Your mind will get you through anything. We ain't fighting no more. I said, I ain't been into a fight since 2009. I still remember the blood spattering everywhere. So, you use your heart now. You love. You cry, you hold. You show gratitude. I got to text Mike. I had a full meltdown in the gym the other day, Spence. I made full on sob fest. It was intense. That's just why I process everything.
Look, man, I'm glad you have somewhere to process it, but
I know.
Just see this big ass dude crying in the gym. You're just like, he either really angry or he's really sad. I don't know which one.
I went into the gym crying the other day. I told the dude, I said, yeah, man, I'm just high as shit.
I'm high and I'm sad.
I said, I'm just high, man.
Card.
Yeah, I wasn't high. I just was saying I was high, I ain't no punk. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no punk.
Hey, my eyes are red because,
this is what we call cigar weed.
This cigar weed.
It's for my glaucoma. Again, I struggle with masculinity shit too. But I do my processing there in the gym, and I thought about saying some things. The fucked up thing is I told Mike, remember that text I sent you? He said, man, I didn't even respond to that text. I said, yeah, you bitch. He said, when was that? I said, that was back in November. You motherfucker. You motherfucker.
It's fucking April.
It's fucking April, bro. I was like, hey, man, I'm coming into town. You available? It's April.
Nope. Not responding to that
He
one.
said, I haven't responded to that. I said, nope. So yeah, that was a wonderful thing. I'm gonna toss a dispense, but here's a heavy. I told little Mike, sent him a text one random night. I said, dude, without you, I'd probably commit suicide. Because he was like through college, and that was like the hardest shit.
Yeah.
Getting kicked out and all this shit and living with the shame, all this shit. And I was like, dude, without you, I'm fucked. I knew he wasn't going to respond to that one very quickly. It took him a little time. I was a sensitive one. He was like,
gotta mull this one over. Thanks, bro.
Laughy face?
Question mark?
He just sends an eggplant.
Eggplant taco.
What would be the equivalent for a dude's butt?
A peach? I used to do peach. Peach is like all around just ass. Okay. So even if it's a man's, I guess. Okay. I don't know. You want more masculine peach? I don't know. A hairy peach?
I want a sumo orange.
Us.
That motherfucker.
Just put an orange as a man's ass.
100%. So yeah. Hey, I love having these people in my life, right? You've seen both of us get emotional today. Men cry. Men do this. This will save lives. So Spence, anything before we get out of here?
I guess I just want to say that you're talking a lot about masculinity and everything like that. It's want to make sure to let people know that there is a positive masculinity
Oh
out
yeah.
there, you know, and just because somebody brings up the word masculinity, a lot of people they scoff at their
Mhm.
shit, right? That's the problem, right? As soon as we want to, talk about our emotions and things like that, it's shut down, you know, and sometimes it's used against us in bad ways.
Yeah.
I just want to say that there is good masculinity out there, and I think men should keep on just being positive. Not, I want men to be effectively emotional.
Correct.
And what I mean by that is don't just be emotional to just be emotional. When the time comes up, actually, and you need to be emotional at something, do so,
Be there.
right? Yeah, be there. And don't just shut yourself off. It never works.
Yeah.
Never fucking works. I do it all the time. But you know what? It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
So,
And
yeah.
masculinity is for all genders. It kills all genders.
Yeah.
It's that dominance. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
a son of a bitch. Good point.
Mm. Yeah.
All right, Skipper.
All right. Aye, Captain. Uh, so with that, just want to say, everybody, please go check out Dear Basketball. It's only 5 minutes. Um, also, remember, hey, be a man, cry, or just be a man. Show your emotions. There you go.
Soft.
All right, everybody. I'm Spencer. That's Nas. Different Spectrums Podcast.
All right, everyone. Much love. And remember, take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
It's up to you. Peace.